all are doing well. I am Shubhajit. In the previous session, we have seen about the early modern period and how the changes happened during that period due to Industrial Revolution, Scientific Revolution, Democratic Revolution, etc. Let us now see how conflict led to the establishment of a democratic government in Britain from the topic Democratic and National Revolution 17th, 18th and 19th centuries from Class 9 Social Studies. Learning outcomes. You will be able to know about England, the Civil War and the Glorious Revolution, American independence, 1774 to 1789 CE, the Declaration of American Independence. Keywords: Republic, where the head of the state is a democratically elected president, not a monarch. Congress, a formal meeting or series of meetings for discussion between delegates or members of a group. Dynasty, a sequence of rulers from the same family or group. Autocracy, a state or society governed by one person with absolute power. Rivalry, a situation in which people compete with each other for the same thing. Concept map. England, the Civil War and the Glorious Revolution in 1603 CE, James I of the Stuart dynasty became the King of England after the death of the last queen of the Tudor dynasty. The king needed the approval of this parliament to impose any tax or approve new laws. He did not want the parliament to question him. He believed that the absolute powers of the king were given by God. So the kings ruled by a divine right. This was called the divine right theory. James I was succeeded by Charles I. Charles I dissolved the parliament and ruled for 11 years without any parliament. But in 1640 CE, he needed money to fight some wars. So, he was forced to summon the parliament to get special grants. This parliament continued from 1640 to 1660 CE, and hence it is called the Long Parliament. The Long Parliament decided to control the autocracy of the king and his ministers. The Parliament punished the ministers and officers of Charles I. It stopped the working of special courts created by the king. Charles I took advantage of the differences between the Parliament and tried to arrest his opponents in the Parliament. A civil war started between the parliamentary party and the king's party, which lasted for 5 years. Ultimately, Charles I was defeated and executed in 1649 CE, and England became a republic. The Republican government was not very successful and did not last long. In 1688 CE, William of Orange and his wife Mary, granddaughter of Charles I, were invited by the Parliament to occupy the throne of England in the new system of government. Ministers were answerable to the Parliament and the king had limited powers. This was the beginning of parliamentary democracy in England. Now, the power of the king was not a divine right, but it was granted by the Parliament. This was called constitutional monarchy. All this took place without shedding a drop of blood or firing a single shot. This transformation, therefore, is known as glorious or bloodless revolution. American independence 1774 to 1789 CE. After Columbus discovered American continent in 1492 CE, England and other European countries had established colonies on the eastern coast of North America by the middle of the 18th century. 13 states had become colonies of the British. Most of them were occupied by people who wanted to be free and independent from England. They had moved to America and settled there to cultivate lands, run small workshops, and conduct trade. The English Parliament started forcing its power on these colonies by making laws for the American states. But the people of those states did not vote in the elections to the Parliament. Till the 1750s, the American colonies were inhabited by small and middle-sized farmers who owned the land and tilled it too. It also had a large number of artisans and traders. These colonies did not have a powerful landlords or princes as in Europe. Thus, there was a degree of equality among the people. While most of the people were Christians, they belonged to different sects, and each sect had its own church. This meant that the priests did not have the same authority and social position as in Europe. Many prominent Americans inspired and reinforced social equality in America. Many of them, like Tom Paine and Thomas Jefferson, actively campaigned for political equality and freedom of thought for all people. The English Parliament often passed laws that favored English traders and factories rather than American people of the colonies. The American colonies therefore raised the slogan, "No taxation without representation." In 1774 CE, representatives from 12 colonies met a Congress at Philadelphia. To protest against the British. They requested King George III to restore their previous rights. But the king refused to do so and tried to suppress the colonies. This led to armed clashes between the British and the American soldiers. The Second Congress also tried to find a peaceful solution. They appealed to the king not to impose taxes without their permission. They decided George Washington to be the chief of the armed forces of the colonies. The king saw this as an act of rebellion and declared war in April 1775 CE. The Americans finally won the war in October 1781 CE with the military help from France. France helped the colonies because of the rivalry between Britain and France in establishing colonial empire. The American War of Independence ended after Britain signed the Treaty of Paris in 1783 CE and recognized the independence of its 13 colonies. The Declaration of American Independence. The Declaration of Independence was adopted on 4th of July 1776 CE during the Third Congress at Philadelphia. Thomas Jefferson was the principal author of this declaration. It declared that all men are created equal and are endowed by the Creator with certain rights which cannot be taken away, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In 1789 CE, the government of the United States of America adopted a republican constitution. The United States of America would not be ruled by kings but by representatives elected by the people. In this video, you have seen about the England, the Civil War and the Glorious Revolution, American independence 1774 to 1789 CE, and Declaration of American Independence. Thank you.